Blog Talk Radio.
Hello, Blog Talk Radio. This is Michael Edley, Psychic Medium, coming to you live for Two Psychics.
Hello, this is Mary Amy coming to you live for Two Psychics. I'm an intuitive wisdom coach, and I hope you join us on Thursdays at 8 p.m. Bye.
Bye-bye. Welcome. Good evening, everyone. So it is not officially 8 p.m. It is 7:30 p.m., but we are here, Two Psychics, coming to you from the lovely East Coast. Some beautiful weather today, and I am with my fabulous co-host, Mary Amy. How are you, Mary Amy?
Hello. Hi. Here I am in New York, and we have had some wonderful days, and I spent a lot of time outside in the last few days because of the weather. It was in the 50s, high 50s, and I got some sunlight, and I feel a little bit healthier than I did last week, that's for sure.
Ooh, that's good. Get a little of that vitamin D, that natural vitamin D. I think that's good for all of us. Yes, I was enjoying a little of that vitamin D today out in the sun, getting as much of it as I could. So yes, taking advantage of this early spring we're having right now.
Yes. So I don't know if anyone saw, Michael and I had some photos taken together, and I made a trip down to the Jersey Shore past weekend, and it was a great day. And we can pitch or plug Teresa.
Yes, Teresa Artigas, portrait artist. So if you're on Facebook or you're in the Jersey or the tri-state area, definitely check out Teresa Artigas, portrait artist, photographer, phenomenal creative mind all around, and she hooked us up with a fantastic photo shoot. We were there for a few hours. We had a really cool day. I think she had a really good vision for what she wanted to kind of capture in our photographic essence. Probably more so you than me, but I thought she did. I thought she did a great job, and it was a really good day. So you will see a lot of new promo material, I would say promo pictures, photos coming out very shortly. And if you're on Facebook, we have our new Facebook page too, the Two Psychics Radio Show. Make sure you give us a like and follow. We need some followers. I think we're at a handful.
Yes. She's very creative, Teresa, and supportive and kind. You know, when you get photos taken sometimes for business or even pleasure, when you go get some kind of portraits taken, sometimes it can be pretty stressful, but she changed that, and she took away any anxiety, and we had some pumpkin bread out and listening to some Irish tunes, and it was very nice. It went by like lickety-split. And I do love how the photos came out. I'm really grateful for that. Very, very grateful for that.
Yes, it was a good day, and then we got to go out for some dinner on the Jersey Shore. We got to enjoy a little the River Rock restaurant, which I'll be doing. I'll give a shameless plug here. I'll have a psychic event there on, I believe it's April 10th. If you did not get your tickets yet, go check out either my page, link will be on there, or check out the River Rock events page. And if you want to be part of the Psychic Night, which is a very cool night of Reiki and readings, it will be on April 10th.
And all of your events seem to be sold out, Michael. You have some following.
Yeah, quite a few. It's good. I like it. I think when people when you can put something together and let people see like what Reiki is, what mediumship is, what psychic abilities are, and you can kind of give people a Cliff Notes version of it, and they can experience it and kind of get a feel for it. It can really tune people in, turn people on to this energy healing, this psychic awareness, and they've been selling out. I think a lot of people are starting to tap in to their natural psychic abilities, this intuitive ability, the energy healing. People want to know more about this. They want to experience it. They want to experience it in an evidential, authentic way. And, that's one thing I'm very proud to say. We are doing this at such a high evidential and authentic level that when you come experience this with us, You're going to see it, no nonsense. You're truly going to see what this is about.
Talk Radio. This is Michael Edley, psychic medium.
Come, hey, was that a shameless plug? Was that a shameless plug, or was that Spirit telling me to hurry up and hand the mic over to you? I think that's what Spirit was telling me on that one.
Oh my goodness, not necessarily. It was basically, you know me, all thumbs on the computer.
You didn't hang up on everybody though, right? You just hit a button.
No, I didn't.
Right?
No, I do actually spoke to somebody already who's holding. We have a couple people holding right now for a reading.
Excellent.
I experienced it firsthand, and I haven't seen Michael in action for quite a while. But the waitress, information came to both of us, our waitress for the table, and we gave her a little. Well, you gave her an extensive reading. I gave her a mini reading. And she was surprised. She was very kind soul. Rosanna.
Yes, and she was open to it, and that's one thing I think as an intuitive, as an energy healer, as a psychic, as a medium, I think that's one thing is we really shouldn't impose our will on others. So it's not like we said, hey, your father is behind you and jumping out. We see if people are open to it. Hey, are you spiritual at all? Are you into like psychic abilities? I think you have to feel people out though first. So that's going to be my disclaimer. We didn't just jump out and say, hey, we have a reading for you. It's a psychic reading. Check this out. No,
Yes, you did. You did exactly that, Michael. Tell the truth.
You're right.
No.
We didn't impose our will. That's what I'm trying to say. Is we kind of saw she was open and tuned into it.
Always ask.
Yes.
Always ask.
Yes. And I think that's one thing as intuitives, as healers, as psychics, as mediums, doing this work and doing it in the best, most authentic way you can. You can't impose your will on other people. You truly have to ask: are they open? Are they tuned into this? And that's for any of us, anybody out there that's starting to work with this and is starting to work with this energy. That's one thing I can tell you. Absolutely respect the people that are around you in a sense that you just don't jump in their face and say, hey, what about this? I have a message for you. Open and see if people are open and tuned into it, and you'll know immediately whether someone's receptive to receiving a message or not receptive. And people will be highlighted to you, and certain things will come to you. And like me, it's a volume knob, and we were kind of tuned in a little. We were, through the whole day, I think I was in a little more of a raised awareness, and I had my volume knob open a little bit, getting some of that collective energy in. And it comes to you when you're open and tuned in, and the spirit realm wants to jump in and they want to get a message to their loved one. They will absolutely try. And that's the one thing, when we're getting signs, when we're getting symbolism, when we're getting what we think are some type of just occurrence that seems to randomly happen. It's not. They're definitely reaching out. They're trying to contact us. Our loved ones in spirit want to give us messages. They want to let us know they're okay, and that was part of it. Her father was coming through. There was a lot of messages and a lot of validation and healing that needed to happen, and she got that, and I just felt it was a blessed evening to be able to bring healing to someone that was dealing with grief and wasn't sure how to handle it, and that's an instance where I think divinely we can be guided to those things, and absolutely when we utilize the prophetic word, gift of knowledge, these things that come to us from the beyond, they're absolutely meant to bring healing, guidance, and wisdom to those that the message is coming through for, and it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing when it all aligns.
What I learned a very long time ago when I actually pursued this in a professional manner, you have to ask for permission, and that's one of the steps that I take when I do give a reading. I say, hi, my name is Mary, and your name is so-and-so. Is it okay that I connect to you? And when we have people call in here, I'm asking, are you interested in having a reading? So they're giving permission. And you never want to step on anyone in any way. Everyone should have boundaries set. And if they're interested, like, for example, that evening, and we met Rosanna, and you said to her, would it be okay if I share with you what I'm receiving? And her eyes kind of lit up, and she was very excited about it. So, yes, you have to respect other people's boundaries. And like, for example, when I give an intuitive reading, it's a confidential session, and I learn hidden truths, and I learn details that were never revealed, and usually it leads to a destined path. And maybe sometimes my clients discover their talents and strengths, and it ignites a divine light in their hearts. And that's my intention. It's all really about, for me, it's not about anything except kind of sharing some kind of understanding or wisdom, something that's an experience that I believe that the person or the individual should have or know about on my end.
Good stuff. Good stuff right there.
You're so funny. Okay, so let me share what tonight we're going to get into, and then we'll see where we go. Okay, so tonight is episode 9, and tonight we are going into, and we're going to cover Self-Love Ascension Symptoms. I don't know if you know and understand what that is, and psychic messages, psychic readings, and we are going to have some call-ins. We'd love to have some of you call in. I am going to give a clairaudience activation and cover a little bit about psychic phenomenon, and Michael is going to cover the self-love and the ascension, as well as multiple call-ins for psychic messages. It's pretty exciting. What do you think, Michael?
It's going to be a good one. Get your questions ready. Whoever's listening right now, start thinking about those questions or who you want to connect to or whatever it may be. You know, get the wheels turning.
Follow us. Next week, we have on March 22nd, we have Jessica Jones, and she is a cryptid expert, which is cryptids are monsters, I guess you could say. Maybe they're Bigfoot or they're a werewolf or they're something that's hiding out. And she also is a remote viewer. And you give her some coordinates, and she can remote view. So that's an exciting episode coming up next week.
Ooh, wonder if we should bust out some coordinates maybe before the end of the show.
I know, I'm thinking.
What do we got?
I don't know. It's going to be fascinating. So look for that. If you follow us, you will get notifications of upcoming episodes we have. Would it be okay if I get into our topics tonight, and then we'll take a caller?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right. So I want to share with our listeners, our audience tonight, that I, on a personal level, was dealing with the subject of self-love, and I had no intention of telling a personal story, but I am going to give an explanation exactly what is that. And I was kind of battling with my self-love today in the last few days because I had some predicaments, some challenges, some obstacles that came into my life, and I was basically trying to remove myself. Run and hide, don't deal with it. And what happens when you run and hide? It chases you, doesn't it? And I am here to say to you that we must have self-love. So what exactly is self-love? Well, self-love is really accepting yourself for all your flaws, your physical and emotional traits and characteristics. And self-love is loving and taking care of yourself with kindness, respect, and self-compassion. You know, out there in the physical reality and this matrix that we live in, and hopefully we're ascending, I'm going to get onto that topic, we encounter individuals that don't necessarily profess love and light like Michael and I do. And so we must have self-love, and we must achieve that to have self-preservation, to survive in this three-dimensional realm. So, for example, love is to cherish another, isn't it? Now, if we begin to allow all of ourselves to be shown and identify and embrace our authentic self, you want to support your needs and your wants and allow limitations within your being. So how are you going to have self-love? Well, you can turn inward, and I've mentioned in the past, you turn inward to your heart, and you want to calm your spirit down, let go of any tension that you have, and you're going to let out a breath, and you're going to ground yourself. Imagine your feet firmly planted in the earth's surface. Kind of be a rag doll, your whole body, maybe move your neck around, your head around, and then you might want to very much tune inward. So in other words, turn to your heart and say, how are you feeling? Because when you accept how you're feeling, everything's going to seem a whole lot easier. It's all about acceptance when it comes to self-love. And that's how you gain it. And that is actually what's called clairempathy. You're going to start to trigger clairempathy within you and clairsustenance. And now another way for self-love is you ask yourself, what am I needing? And you accept the answer. You accept it and you say, okay. And you say, is today the day that I'm comfortable being alone or in a group? In other words, you allow yourself to feel whatever you're feeling. And you're going to accept the answer. Are you feeling okay? Learn to have self-kindness for you. And then I would say the third would be, if you're triggered by a circumstance or an experience, accept this aspect of yourself. Embrace it. Hug it. So today I was feeling really not so good about myself. And I said, I'm running. I'm having shame. So I said to myself, I did a little meditation, and I discovered I needed some self-love. So I said, let me embrace whatever this is that's happening. And I got to the other side of it. And this is how you become more self-aware of your personality and your circumstances and experiences. And then I would say one of the final steps would be to finally set boundaries. So I always say, imagine 12 inches from your body. That is an invisible line, and that is your boundaries. And no one's allowed to step into your space unless you give them permission, emotionally, physically, mentally, or spiritually. Now you can tune into your heart, like I said, your heart space chakra, and you can trust your intuition and gut hunches. What are you thinking, Michael?
Yeah, no, that's a really good foundation to give everyone an understanding. And I think a lot of this, when we're talking about self-love, we have to take a step back and we have to look at our belief systems. We have to look at our emotions. You know, how do our emotions direct us? How do they have us feeling at most points in time? Are we harnessing our emotions, or are our emotions harnessing us? You know, I mean, there's a lot to this, and I think the first part of self-love, I think one thing people need to understand is you can always create a new story for yourself. Sometimes we get caught up in old self-limiting beliefs, or we get caught up in an old story, a childhood story, a story, you know, that maybe a parent put on us, or, you know, many, many different variables with this. But I think that's the one thing we need to understand with self-love. At any moment, any day, any point in time, you can create a new story. And in creating that new story, you're building a new identity. In that new identity, you're starting to encourage and understand and establish new belief systems. In these new belief systems, you're learning how to experience and utilize your emotions for your own personal growth. And whenever we're working, you know, with energy, when we're working on how to raise our vibration, if we want to be an energy healer, how can we allow this healing energy to transcend through us to bring the greatest healing to those people that we're trying to help, you know, in addition to ourselves? And all of this, the foundation and the fundamentals to all of this are our belief systems and our emotions and how we're working with them. And that is one of the basic fundamental aspects of this when you're trying to raise your vibration. So that's the one thing I want everyone to understand is, regardless of what happened or what story you've given yourself, what story you've lived, what belief systems you put in place, you know, and a lot of this stuff can be to protect us, to keep us safe, and understand too when we're dealing with the ego. And a lot of this has the ego in control. You know, a lot of when we're making these breakthroughs, when we're trying to create a new story, the ego wants to keep us safe. It wants to keep us in a non-fear threatening, comfortable, neutral place that it feels like there is no harm going to come to it. It's okay. It feels good. It feels safe. But in that, are you building anything new? Are you making any breakthroughs? You know, are you living old stories, old beliefs, old patterns? So that's what this is. self-love is understanding at any moment in time, like right now, you can create a new story. And that would be my challenge to every one of you out there. If you had any self-limiting beliefs, if someone has told you a story of you're not good enough, or you can't do that, or why do you want to do that? What are you, crazy? Well, you know what? That's fine. People can say that, but understand when a lot of times people speak like that, they're speaking from their own belief system. They're speaking from their own concerns, their own worry. So there's a multifaceted layering to this, but no, at any point in time, we can create a new story, which can build upon a new identity, and that can start a new phase and a new beginning in self-love.
Yes, and I had to have a moment, really about 30 minutes before we came on, and I had to really kind of embrace myself and give myself some self-love because I was not feeling good, and I had to find some strengths that I had and look at myself. And like you said, you can always, I guess, not reinvent yourself, but come to terms with a newer version of yourself, another version of yourself. And
I think that's what it is. I think we allow ourselves to transcend. We allow ourselves to grow. We allow ourselves to outgrow, the things that are no longer serving us. And then we also need to give ourselves grace. Look, every day isn't going to be perfect. And just as you experience this, today, you were going through your own point in time where you had to give yourself self-love, give yourself grace, sit in that energy. That's something we all need to understand. We're all going to experience that. And no matter how ascended we are or, what energy vibration we're on, this stuff is going to fluctuate. And no matter how much you got everything under control and how grounded you are, there's always going to be some type of scenario that can throw you off. But this is the thing. This is what we want everyone out there to understand. The more you work with this energy, the more you build upon a solid foundation that doesn't throw you off kilter for such a long period of time. If a really tragic event happens to you and you haven't done any of the self-work, you haven't built any type of foundation and grounding and worked with your energy, it could totally throw you off for a long period of time. The more and more you do it, something may throw you off, and maybe at this point in time, it'll get you for a couple hours, or a couple days. The more you work with it, maybe rather than it be a couple days, then it is a couple hours. And then what if that couple hours goes to a couple minutes, and that couple minutes goes to a couple seconds? And that's what this is about. It's about harnessing the emotions. It's about understanding this energy. So even though we're experiencing something that may be a difficult circumstance, it's how we respond to that, and we're building upon a better way to respond that empowers us and does not empower the circumstance or the negativity or pull us out of our fundamental balance. So I think that's what everyone needs to understand. We're all going to experience this, and no matter how practiced and how well versed we are in doing all of these different healing modalities and grounding, things are still going to throw us off. It's just a matter of the more balanced and fundamental you've grown in working with this energy, the less likely it's going to throw you off long term. It's going to be a short, incremental thing that happens, and not something that takes you out, for a long time.
I realized, Michael, that it was interesting. I couldn't pinpoint where it came from. It was like a black cloud that was over me. And then I spoke to someone, and they reminded me of something that happened earlier in the day. And I said, oh my gosh, that triggered these old feelings, this old energy. And it came in, and it was like it swiped me. And I had to then embrace it. And I said, okay, this is the past. This is something that was dark. This must have been inside of me, and now it came out, and I'm going to embrace it. And I think I've kind of shaken it off. I even took sage, and I was saging myself earlier, like, what's going on? What's connected to me? I don't know what this is. And I was kind of freaked out because this hasn't happened to me in so long. But this was an old, I guess, trauma. And that's what came forward. But enough about me. I want to move on to ascension symptoms. Now, we've spoken about an awakening. I think it was in the last few weeks we spoke about an awakening. You know, you have an awakening and you wake up from your slumber and you realize there's another reality, or there's another version of you. There's something better out there. There's more possibilities. And it's your energy awakening. It's your chakras awakening. It is these parts of you that have been dormant and they've awakened. Well, you become awakened, and then what happens? Well, you have what's called ascension symptoms. You're ascending to a higher version of you. You're coming to a place of more awareness, a more higher consciousness, a place of love and light and forgiveness and hope. And when you are starting to ascend, you're going to start to have some of these symptoms. Now, this sounds like a little funky, but bear with me. Here we go. So the awakening of your spiritual life is derived out of the activation of dormant DNA. Your chakras are opening. Now, maybe you're going to have a Kundalini awakening at your base of your root chakra. Maybe it's going to be a mystical experience. It might be spontaneous, an expansion of your positive energy and heightened awareness and consciousness. It's the start of an extraordinary spiritual journey and growth. You're not going to feel like yourself. And some relationships are going to end. They're not going to fit in your life anymore. They might unravel or seem unnatural. You're going to want to spend more time alone. You might experience during sleep some vivid dreams. There might be some physical symptoms like when you close your eyes, flashes of light, lucid dreams before or after you're waking, symbols and themes that are recurring. You might get some headaches, ears ringing, mood shifts, some intense dreams. You might wake up and have a burst of energy or might need to sleep a lot more. Hot flashes, night sweats, loss of appetite, and your psychic powers begin to evolve. You are turning into a multi-dimensional being of light with a higher consciousness. Your intuition is going to start to take form. Your sixth senses are going to become more apparent. There's going to be an awareness and sensitivity. And you might experience synchronicity where you see angel numbers or you have events that have nothing to do with each other will collide. Now, all of this is going to start to feel familiar. Maybe you're going to yearn for your soulmate, your twin flame, your home. So some ways to stay and keep moving would be through meditation, living in the moment more, realizing everything is connected in the universe. And you're going to feel like, let me let go of some of these old beliefs and attachments. You're going to want to have more of a quiet mind and breathe. You might go and fetch some crystals from somewhere and start to put them on different chakras in your body or put them out in the light and have them gain more energy. And you might start to connect to angels, ascended masters, spirit guides, and you can ask for a light clearing and spend more time in nature in the sunlight, maybe in a wide open field or by a tree. Michael?
Yeah, and it's interesting. I was in the zone listening. No, something, I think the basic fundamental of all of this, whether we're looking at self-love, whether we're looking at ascension symptoms and opening to this ascension process, what people need to understand is what this is about. It's truly connecting to your soul. That's what this is. This is an opening and a blending and understanding of our soul's energy. And when we're connecting to our soul, we're gaining a deeper understanding of both, the negative and positive emotions, negative and positive belief systems. I think everything starts to unfold, and we can almost get a sense of why we do certain things in the way we do them. We could start to see this almost as an outside, like we could start to see outside imagery. We could start to get intuitive guidance. We could start to get soul guidance, and it's almost like we're looking from outside ourselves, and that can manifest in many different areas. We can become more mindful in many different aspects. In that mindfulness, we can start to meditate. We can get a deep prayer routine. We can get into this quiet space of the mind to let that connection to our soul unfold. And that's really what this is about. Whether we're going through an ascension process, we're truly connecting to our soul. And in that process of connecting to our soul, things that we thought were so important in this physical, as we start to shift into a spiritual mindset, we may start to see certain things don't have that hold on us anymore. They don't have that control. We start to see things that we thought we wanted, that maybe we don't, and stuff and things and clutter and, this whole process. I think we start to simplify, and I think we truly start to see what matters on a soul level, and it just gives us a completely new perspective. And many shifts will happen from that. But one of the shifts in the ascension process is many people go through that dark night of the soul. You're burning off that old you, those old belief systems, those old patterns, and a lot of that is tough. It is a process. It is a journey. And that's why they call it the dark night of the soul. So understand, in this process of self-love, this process of ascension, it may not all be love and light. There's going to be a lot of dark nights. There's going to be a lot of stuff you need to go through. But when we're connecting to our soul to gain a deeper understanding, both the positive and the negative will all show itself, and it truly can be a beautiful thing if we embrace it and we work through it.
I think that's what one of the things I was going through today was, I think it was some part of the dark night of the soul, because I felt like something was trying to grab onto me. It was really weird. And I said, I'm not doing this. Whatever this is, go away. And I think it was because it was literally me having to get rid of this, or it had to come up from below. And maybe I compartmentalized it. I don't know, but it showed itself today.
What's interesting, okay, so let me ask you this. How do you think you handled it today, dealing with this and going through this temporary little energy cycle that you experienced? Mm-hmm. Now, how you handled it today versus maybe 5 years ago experiencing the same similar thing? How was there a shift? Do you think you handled it differently in growing and going through your own experiences and your own learning and understanding of the energy work? What was there a significant, hey, I saw this right away, and you kind of could take a step back and look at what was, or what would you say around that?
I would say that I definitely was able to get through it quicker because I'm more aware, and I can decipher between dark and light energy, because it wasn't like energy that I've had around me. And this person has been dormant, I don't want to say dormant, but not in my life directly for a few years, heavily for 11 years, but more, a few years ago, but not where I got it right in my face today. And it started this morning, so it was probably 6 hours, but in the past, maybe it would have taken me, I don't even know, it might have taken me days to figure it out. In fact, I might never have figured it out. I might have tried to kind of go a different way to get rid of it. But it wasn't like I got rid of it. I accepted it and realized what it was. It's almost like when you're a child and something's very upsetting and you run away, and then later it seems so much worse until you look at it and you say, oh, it looked so bad because I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to go through the pain and suffering. So to answer your question, I would say I got through it in a much quicker way. But again, if it happens another time, you might not see it right away either. It takes time for you to process.
But the cool thing that I see from this is I think because you're doing the work day in, day out, you're working with this energy, you're working on, everything we're speaking about. It enables you to see it and maybe approach it from a slightly different perspective than you would have in the past. And you were able to harness and utilize that energy in a way that you would not have previously, correct? That's kind of what I picked up from this.
Oh, no, absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely. And also, what the other thing was, on the way over here to where I do the show, I was going through every single person forgiveness. I forgive so-and-so. I forgive so-and-so. And released it, because I said, I think this is having to do with forgiveness. And so it's latched on to me because I was angry this morning and I had to go, I'm not an angry person, so it's hard for me to get angry, but I was angry. So I went to forgiveness. And I think that, I think it was actually good because it had to happen. So it's Dark Night of the Soul for me today. That's what happened. Dark Night of the Soul.
And I think anyone tuning in, though, I think that's one thing that anyone can take from this is, you know what, regardless of the circumstance, you can try to approach it in the most positive way as possible. And I think when we approach it from a place of love, or can we approach this in a loving, heartfelt energy in one way, shape, or form, which you did, not only will it, I think, help the outcome of the overall situation, but it doesn't eat us up. When we're coming from that place of love and we're coming from forgiveness, it's more about our healing. There's so much healing for us that can come from that. Never mind the other person. Who cares? Not that who cares about them, but it's truly, I think, on our end about letting go and letting that energy release. And it sounds like that's what you did. So that kudos to you. Excellent.
Thanks for this little therapy session tonight, Michael.
And the funny thing is, that's one thing that I say all the time. I'm like, if as psychic mediums, if we would only take our own advice like we give to other people, we would be so much better off. There's so many times that I have to stop at points in, when something's going on. What advice would I give a client of mine if they were experiencing this? Okay, let me take a step back. Let me listen. Let me smack myself upside the head and take my own advice, because a lot of times when we're caught up in the situation, we don't, and it's so imperative to just slow down, take a step back and listen, empower ourselves, utilize the psychic awareness, utilize our intuition. It's so empowering. And when we allow it to flow, like we say this all the time, but you will never be the same when you can harness this energy, and it will always work to your best and highest good.
Thank you. I appreciate your support and kindness. So what I'm thinking is, I am thinking that I'm going to hold off doing this clairaudience activation, and I'd like to maybe do a reading, bring someone on. I had someone and they dropped, but the number here looks familiar. So I think I'm just going to hit this. And are you ready if we would do a reading right now? What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me grab pen and paper so I can jot some things down.
Okay, I'm going to see if this is them. I'm going to see if this is them. You talk for a sec. I'm going to see if this is them.
So that's what it is. That self-love and ascension. Understand that you may be going through the dark night of the soul in this process. It could be a long time. And we have a caller. Woo, we got a caller.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so she was actually holding for 45 minutes, and then somehow she dropped, but she's back, and I saw the number. So here we go.
Okay.
Hi, how are you? It's Mary and Michael.
I did get disconnected. I wasn't sure, and then I called back in.
Well, you got through, so you were meant. Yes, you were meant to speak to us. And I'm sorry, what is your name?
Trish.
So what is up, Trish? This is Michael Edley, psychic medium, and what question do you have for myself and Amy tonight?
I guess my question is, I had a lot of expenses in the past, I don't want to say 6 to 8 months, and I was wondering if you saw that shifting to more financial abundance, as opposed money coming in as opposed to money going out.
Okay, so shifting of money, energy around money. Okay, so what I want you to do for me one time, if you could just say your first name, just slow and clearly. Let me connect to that energy.
Sure. Patricia. Okay, but we're going to call you Trish, correct? Correct.
All right, Trish. Okay, so initially, I'm just going to start speaking about what I sense in your energy field. I'm getting an overwhelming sense of like property sales, property negotiations, buying and selling of property. So is there something, did something recently happen? Is something going on? Are you dealing or are you working in and around, real estate, property sales, property management?
Yeah, I'm not working in it, but I was recently in a legal situation that is now over that will allow me to sell my home.
Okay, so that's what I'm picking up on. Okay, I appreciate you validating that piece of information. Yeah, so that's the big thing. That was going to be the big red flag hurdle. There was a lot of just chaotic energy around that shift. So if you've transitioned through that shift and that has been finalized, you are done, you're able to move forward, I see that as a big positive shift in your energy field. So absolutely that legal hurdle and that going on, since you are beyond that, I do believe you are in a much better position right now to sell property. My concern, just what I see overall, I do see a shift happening later this year in the real estate market. I do think we're going to see, and understand, I'm just going to put my disclaimer out there, I am not a real estate, I am not a consultant. I am not, here for giving legal advice. I'm just giving you my energy of what I read around the situation. Granted, just in my past, I have been, a real estate investor. I have dealt with these things. I just think we're going into a chaotic cycle in the real estate market. I do believe you still have time to capitalize on what we were seeing in this super high peak of inflated prices, I believe, and I think that's going to start to correct. So I think if you're going to sell a property and you do need to sell it quickly, or you want to try to sell it for the biggest return, or to free up, whatever energy is around this, or holding you in a certain area, or whatever that may be, if you are going to sell the property, I do believe you have to move quick on that. I do believe you should find someone that, definitely specializes in your area, someone that is, if you don't, I would try to find a realtor that a little bit of the history, or someone that's worked with them that has a phenomenal review and they can sell the property quick. They know the area, but I think you have to move fast. So that I do see that. I do see positive energy around you releasing a property. So not sure what the energy cycle is around this property, or if there was like a separation or partnership that ended or something around that to like kind of move on from this piece of real estate. Can you take any of that? Is there something like, would your energy be much better if you moved on from this piece of real estate?
Oh, absolutely. The thing that's been holding me back a little is I'm not sure where to go.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's obviously, a crucial step, and that would be something you want to consider is, regardless of what you could get for the sale of this property, whatever you would walk away from, would that enable you to purchase something new or move forward? So that's something you're going to have to look at too. If there's somewhere temporarily you can go or rent for a very reasonable price that wouldn't eat up your funds from the sale, I think that could be positive. Because I do believe we're going into an unstable real estate market, that someone that's ready to go with a cash offer, or could put a nice chunk down, I think they're going to be able to really negotiate and get some phenomenal deals. But I still believe we're probably about 6 months out from that. So that's why I do believe we are in a cycle right now where there's low enough inventory and people are still moving and buying, and there's enough going on that if you could sell the property quickly, then that may enable you to completely move on from this situation. So that's what I see. But whatever the old energy is around this, it's very important that you release from this cycle. And to sell that property, I do believe you need to move quickly, not foolishly to where you take any offer, make sure it works for you. But I do think you need to move fast around it. What do you see around this, Mary?
Okay, so I'll just tell you what I received, Trish. And like I always say, I never know what it means. It doesn't mean to me much of anything, or, but I emphasize what comes through to me. So I received a major I don't know what this is. A major purchase is needed. I saw, or I am experiencing this and you also said it, Michael, I sense a positive glowing light around you, around your physical being. It's a yellowish color. It's very bright. I guess you could say it's in your aura, your human energy field. And I am sensing that whatever's going to happen, this an event for you, it's going to take place in the autumn, the fall time. Any concern that you have, I'm letting you know that you're going to be in a better place. I see this positive light glow. It's like a dreamlike visual. What I'm sensing where you're going is this home, this new place, is going to be like a fairy tale for you, and like a dream place. And that's so. Everything that I received was in the direction of being more of like a happy fantasy for you, rather than anything that you should be worried about or alerted about.
Got it. Well, thank you both so much. I really appreciate it. It was very positive, and it kind of helps me move forward.
All right. Good luck with everything, Trish. Appreciate you calling in.
Blessings to you.
And enjoyed the show. Very, very interesting.
Oh, thank you. Have a great evening. Thanks for calling in. Bye. Okay. So, all right. Well, we have six callers. I'm just going to do a little activation, and then we'll do some more callers. How's that, Michael?
Yeah,
you okay with that?
Sounds good. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. So we here at Two Psychics, we are all about bringing forward your psychic powers. And that means maybe you might start on your own receiving psychic messages, and you might call them paranormal, supernatural, your ESP, an intuitive message that might be an urgent warning. It's going to be informative, an inner knowing, which is a psychic communication. So you might receive something that's clear hearing, which is clairaudience, clairvoyance, clear seeing, clairsestinent, clear feeling. So if you, in fact, start to begin to receive, if you become activated, when you become activated, I should say, you can ask for some guidance. And you can, as Michael says, turn up the volume, which is like you imagine turning the volume up on a sound, a dial. And a telepathic communication, you can be a receiver, a transmitter, a sender, and a receiver. So it's basically one mind to another. You're receiving information from another individual or another. Maybe you're a channeler, maybe you're a medium, you speak to psychics. And our brain cells communicate with each other. So I give little, exercises about psychic phenomenon on some of my lives. And one of them that I do is related to clairaudience. And I think I've mentioned that here before. So let's together do this. It's a little exercise, and maybe you'll bring forward and you'll start to hear things. And it's not going to be like if someone's standing next to you and they're talking to you. It's going to feel like a physical sensation. You're going to know it's coming from an outside source. All right, so let's do this together, and then we'll get some more call-ins, okay? All right, everyone. So what I'd like you to first do is I'd like you to put all your weight in your bottom, and I'd like you to let go of any tension you have in your body. I know by the end of the day we're tired and maybe we have anxiety, so we're going to push away any thoughts we had. We're going to let go of anything that we're holding on to from the past or thinking for the future. We're going to be in this moment. We're going to have gratitude for this moment. We're so lucky that we're here. And we're going to let out a breath. So we're going to put all of our weight in our bottom, the base of our spine, and we're going to imagine, and we're going to ground ourselves, that all of our weight is moving down into the earth. And maybe you want to imagine your feet are inside the earth in nature, and you're wiggling your toes. All right, so you're going to be like a rag doll. Maybe you want to be sitting up or laying down, eyes closed or eyes open. It's entirely up to you. I'm just making a suggestion. All right, so you're going to move your neck around, and you're going to let all of the stress travel out, down your arms, through your fingers. You're like a rag doll. And then you're going to push away any doubt, because you know what? This is all about self-acceptance. When you have acceptance and self-confidence that you can do this, it will happen for you. More and more of these experiences, the psychic phenomenon, your psychic powers will come forward. All right, so we're pushing away any doubt, okay? And we're going to let out a breath, and we're going to do 3 inhales and exhales. And then we're going to activate our clairaudience. Okay. All right, so we're going to do 3 inhales and exhales. We're going to 4 seconds, hold it for 4 seconds, release it for 4 seconds. Okay, let's do it together. Now, I'm hoping at this moment that you're feeling a little bit more relaxed, any tension, any stress, you've pushed away any doubt, you've dropped all of your energies into your physical vessel, and you're having focus and concentration. And now what I'd like you to do is I'd like you to for a moment with me. I'd like us all to be quiet for a moment, and let's just listen to everything that's going on in the room with a lot of focus and concentration. And what I mean is, what are you hearing? Are you hearing appliances, your computer, some kind of noise, a creak in the building, whatever it is? And I just want you to listen. And we're going to do that for a second, and then we're going to do one step further. Okay, so I'm going to be quiet. We're going to listen for a minute. Okay, so sometimes what you begin to realize is you might be hearing frequencies, you might be hearing energy, you might start to hear something that you didn't notice before because you're distracted by what's going on in the physical reality. Okay, so now, again, activating this might not happen on the first try. It's baby steps. Okay, I'm going to be quiet again, and let's listen beyond the walls of the room, beyond the space that you're in for a second. I'm going to be quiet now. Okay, now, and then I will say the final, and you can do this in your own without any technology running, is listen beyond as far as you can imagine. Maybe it's 5 blocks away. Maybe it's up into the moon, whatever you think. But listen as hard as you can and see if you receive anything. And you might begin to receive something after this moment, and you start to hear from an outside source. Okay, I'm going to be quiet. Let's listen as hard as we can, as far as we can imagine. Now, the trick with all of this is not bringing your thoughts into it. It's just whatever your hearing is receiving. So you're letting go of anything that's going to be an old belief system, an old attachment, something that has nothing to do with you receiving from an outside source. So you might begin to hear what is inaudible, not present in the physical reality. You might hear messages from an external source that's outside your head or maybe within. Okay, so there you go. You can begin baby steps practicing this. I know, Michael, you have clairaudience.
Yes. Yep. And it can come to you in many different ways, so that's the thing. Just like you said, don't overthink it. Don't think about it. Just whatever comes to you, let that flow and document it. And that's it. And then just expand upon that. Those are the building blocks. And what you may find, certain things may come to you one way and then it expands. So instead of just hearing something, you may now hear it and see it. There may be a hearing, seeing, and a smelling. There may be a hearing, seeing, and tasting. It varies depending on the situation, the circumstances around, what energy you're trying to pick up. But yeah, this is the building blocks.
My disclaimer is I'm just giving suggestions. I'm just trying to help. And these are my, what I've experienced that's worked. So it doesn't mean that it's going to be right for everyone. But I like to give examples. I like to try to kind of lead and give some kind of guidance. Okay, would you like me to bring on someone else for a psychic reading?
Sure.
Keep it moving, keep it moving. Okay, here we go. I don't know, but I'm just gonna grab people in line of when they joined our show. Okay, so here we go. Let's see. Hi, this is Mary and Michael. Who's this?
Hi, this is Carrie in New York. Thank you for taking my call.
Hi, Carrie.
What's up, Carrie? How are you? That's excellent. You are meant to be our next caller. Wow. I wish we were doing this live and we were videoing it, because the funny thing was I just asked Spirit to give me the name of the next caller. I was doing my own little tricks and games here while we're on the air. And it's funny is the spiritual realm around you and around me somehow connected and gave me your name. Oh, this is good. I actually just wrote your name down when Mary Amy was going through her meditation. So that's awesome. So I'm so glad you're calling in. And what questions do you have for us?
I wanted to clarify that. So you heard the name before I said it?
I did, yes. I asked them to give me the name of the person that we'd be speaking to next, or a name important to them, and your name was given to me. How crazy is that?
Yeah,
I didn't know if it was Kerry or Carrie. I knew it was one or the other, and I knew it started with a K. So Kerry, I appreciate that. Yeah, so you're meant to speak to us. So did you have a question for us?
Yeah, and I only recently started using that. I've been using other names, so that is really wild. Okay.
That was cool. That was my own little psychic game I was doing with myself in Mary Amy's meditation. I asked who to speak to next, or what name is going to be very important to that person. And sure enough, I got the K with a Kerry or a Carrie. So
I love it.
Excellent.
That's so cool. Okay, well, then I would say, what do spirits have for me coming up?
So what's interesting? So let me just so what I want you to do for me, so I can connect to your energy. Give me your name, slow, and just say your first name for me.
Carrie.
All right, Carrie, appreciate that. So Carrie, what's funny is there's dominant female energy around you. What's interesting, I don't know if they're giving me the name of someone there that's around you in spirit, or a name that pertains to something that you're navigating here in the physical. But was that name, Carrie, did that come from someone? Are you naming yourself now? Or are you taking on someone else's name? And also the name Amy, I don't know what significance there is to the name Amy, but as I'm speaking to you, I have dominant female energy around you from mom's side. So this could be mom. Is your mom in spirit?
Yes.
Okay. So that's why I believe mom, grandmom is, I don't know how close they were or how close you were to both of them, but I believe grandma, I don't know if she helped raise you or she was separate and you would go stay with her, or there was something about a period in time where I believe she helped raise you. Can you take any of that from grandma?
Yes.
Okay.
Very
so
good.
I just want to make sure I got the right. Okay. So mom and grandmom are with me, almost as if, I don't know what the circumstance is around this, but I feel as if grandma's stepping through with very dominant motherly energy too. So what that shows me is a period in time she helped raise you, or you had to stay with her or something. What can you take from that?
Yes, well, we lived with my grandparents for the first, let's say, 8 years of my life, pretty much.
Okay. Yeah, that's what she showed.
I mean, not from the beginning. I think maybe somewhere in the first year of my life, my parents were having issues surviving, so they moved back in with.
Yeah, no, that's what she shows me. It was a very close connection. I think she helped instill a lot of values, a lot of, like an ethical, solid upbringing. I think she instilled a lot of like old school values. Now, the name Amy, can you take the name Amy? Around them, someone in spirit or someone around you here in the physical? Because I'm sensing the name Amy as a prominent name around you.
Close, but not exactly.
What can you take from that?
My sister is Jamie.
Okay, so I could be hearing, and this is, and she's still here. She's in the physical, correct? She's here with us, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So let me read into this a little bit. So that's probably what it is, because I'm hearing it and I'm not seeing it, and so that's most likely. So Amy, Jamie, I'm pretty sure they're giving me her name. So what I feel. So let me just give you a little bit of the energy that I'm sensing around this. So you're either navigating some kind of dynamic with your sister. So I don't know if there was like a separation, there was some kind of disharmony, something happened around that. But that's what I sense the mom and grandma are talking about, and would be bringing her name up.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's kind of been ongoing.
Okay. So then that's what they're talking about. So what that shows me, though, for them to bring up that name, it's crucial. So there's there's a lot of anxiety, there's a lot of grief, there's a lot of resentment, there's a lot of like disharmony, chaotic energy around this. But I do believe that they're bringing up her name, so there is some type of positive outcome that can come to this. There is some, but I do believe they're bringing it up to you, because either you're going to have to make the first move, or there's going to have to be some kind of shift of how you're approaching dealing with her, or how you're negotiating with her. So I'm not sure what you can take from that, but whatever's going to happen, I hate to say it, but when they come through and they're giving me a name, a sibling's name, and there is a lot of chaotic energy around that, I do believe it's going to take some type of significant effort on your part to break down whatever boundary, whatever wall, whatever is going on. There's something on your end that you can do, but what I would say that entails is you may have to step up and maybe be the bigger person, or maybe acknowledge some kind of shift in how something is going to be divided, or how I'm not sure what this is in regard to, but I feel like I don't know if this is in the passing, or like a will, or an estate, or a settlement, or something around like a property and accounts. Can you take any of that? Is there something around like a family settlement, or a family, some kind of settlement?
I'm not sure how it applies to what you said.
Okay. So all I can say is whatever you're navigating with Jamie, you said it was Jamie, right? Your sister Jamie?
Yeah.
So what I would say is, the energy I'm getting around this is you can navigate this in some type of positive way, but if you're waiting for Jamie to make the first move, or you're waiting for her to make some type of amend, or give some type of almost, I feel as if there's like a give and a take going on here, and unfortunately, it's almost as if you're going to have to give a little to try to move forward in some kind of peace or harmony around this chaotic energy. So I don't know what that is. I don't know if you can reach out. I do feel so. I sense around this positive energy that you can help correct or rebalance the disconnect between you and her.
Wow.
I do believe it's going to be very tough on you emotionally, and I do believe, I don't know, like in what I read around this is probably hurtful things could have been said too, and I think emotions took hold, and I definitely see like on her end, talking to you, I think there was a lot of hurtful things said that you're like, that she may not necessarily take back. But I think you need to step up and be the bigger person and decide, hey, do I want to try to move this relationship forward in some way, shape, or form, or don't I? And I think you're going to have to intuitively sit with this and say, is this something that I need to correct, or is this something that you can release? So that's just what I'm reading around the energy cycle of the disharmony between you and your siblings. Mary Amy, are you picking up anything around this?
Yeah. So, hi. Nice to talk to you, Carrie. Hi.
Thank you.
So, what I received was I sensed a tree, And this tree was branching off into many different directions, as your life has, many experiences, many people, and a wide variety. And what I received was that you're going to have future choices. You have very good karma that is owed to you, and you are able to manifest. You have a clear energy. And what I'm trying to say to you is, if you want to, you can basically ask for certain things to come into your life. Whatever it is, you have that ability because you have good karma. I'm receiving that. I'm receiving that you have an upcoming trip. You're traveling. And if you are, I'm sensing that you're feeling alone, and this is actually a chance for you to achieve a goal that you've had. That's what I received.
So is the trip, I don't know of any trip now.
Okay, well, I sense a trip, that you're taking a trip, and it's not, and it might be a surprise for you, not necessarily something that you would have expected, but you are, maybe it's going to be something that you're actually going to manifest. Like I say, you are very capable right now of manifesting something. And what I received is that you in your lifetime have been, I guess you could say, more or less a kind, compassionate being, and it's like you're receiving a payback for that. Not that you do that to receive something, but you have this clearness about you. And so give it a chance. Sit with what I'm saying. Maybe sit down and just close your eyes and don't try too hard, and just say, like, if I had someplace or something that I really wanted, what would it be? And it's almost like you as soon as you think it, you're going to be sending it out into the universe, and it will come to you.
I love it. Okay.
Anything
well,
possible.
I've been learning about the law of attraction and manifesting and that kind of stuff. So this is very encouraging along those lines. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
I think the big thing, too, is you have a lot of dominant female support from your mother's side, from mom, from grandma. I mean, they're coming through pretty clear. I think it's important for you to know, too, mom is good. She's in a good place. She's in that divine heavenly realm. She's having fun. So I don't know if there was questions or concerns around her passing when she passed. And is this pretty recent? Are we going back the last several years that she had passed?
Oh, it's been a while.
In a little while?
Yeah, very long time.
So what I sense around this, I don't know if you had helped care for her at the end, or she was in like a hospice, but I do. Okay, so just
she was in the hospital. She was in the cancer hospital, and for the better part of 6 months, I was there with her.
Yeah, I think she just wants to acknowledge that love, that she has for you, and that she is support guiding you. I feel as if it's important for me to let you know she's around you. So I don't know if you're not seeing the signs, you don't feel like you're seeing the signs, or you're looking for certain things, or you're looking for a specific symbol or sign or something like that you don't feel like you're getting. But I feel like I just have to tell you she is around you, and she's bringing me. So the interesting thing, I'm seeing a red rose. So I don't know if she wants me to give you that as that's her indicator that she's around you. And it's funny because you hear certain things, you hear a lot. You hear the feathers, you hear the penny. There's certain things that I think they can use much easier to try to get our attention. But for you, I definitely, I'm seeing a red rose in my mind's eye right now. So I don't know what the specifics are, or if that was something very important to your mom or you. But I do believe that red rose, you are going to see that, and that's going to be an acknowledgement of your mother's energy to you.
Wonderful. I love roses. Love red roses.
All right. Well, then I think that's why she's giving me that. But yeah, just know her energy is around you. There's so much love, and she just wants to know about you giving yourself grace. So I don't know if you've been really trying to navigate a lot right now, going in a lot of different directions, really trying to maneuver like the family dynamics between you and your sister. But I just feel it's important for you to know her energy is helping you. She's guiding you. She's acknowledging the love that she has for you, and she's just acknowledging you're being the whatever situation is going on. She is acknowledging that, like, you're being the bigger person in this circumstance, or whatever's going on, whatever you're navigating with your sister. So just sit with that, and I'd say connect with her energy and see how you're guided, see how you're being divinely guided. And I truly think that will lead you down the right path, and it'll bring some type of resolve around the family dynamic that's a little chaotic right now.
Yeah. Well, we're limited communication. There is some, but yeah, it's very hard to talk to my sister, but I'm like, she hurts me a lot, and I let her know, and she doesn't like that because, as I keep telling her, she can't handle the truth. So I don't think I'm in the wrong. And then she gets obnoxious. She cuts me off. She talks over me and accuses me of interrupting her and all that. And it's just a nightmare. And she triggers me. I know that. I'm working on not being triggered, but I don't know what to do with the emotion because I think she's absolutely horrible to me. And there's something else that I haven't been able to forgive her for because I feel she abandoned me by being manipulated and controlled by her husband, and he sought to put a rift between us, and he succeeded.
Let me ask, Mary Amy, what do you think would be a good release, like a good release meditation or like a breathing focus she can do to try to some of the emotions around that?
What I suggest is, I don't know if you have a body of water by you. Do you have a pond, a lake? Okay. I would go down there alone, and I would talk to the water and send it out. And usually that works for me, and I let it go. I know it sounds very simple, but within 24 hours, I usually feel like I'm like, okay, wait, why do I feel like something's missing? It's gone. It's like you check for it. And also, if you, I know you just said you don't know if you can forgive, and maybe you're not ready yet. Because sometimes we hold on to something and the other person it's not even hurting them, it's hurting us. If you do choose to forgive or let this go, you can say it out into the universe. You can just say it. You don't have to be within distance of that person, like in the same room. You can just put it out there and they will receive it if you want to. Because a lot of time, if we don't let go, we're actually blocking ourselves from our destiny, from our personal journey, our success, our strengths, and the goodness. I mean, look, everything's a process. It's not simple. You could, like I said, go to the water. You could send it out. You could journal. You can sit there and write out how you feel. Sometimes it's very cathartic for it to run through your arm out to your fingertips and write it down and just let it out until it's not hurting you anymore. Sometimes when we're in relationships with those that don't realize that they're hurting us, you feel like, okay, I got past it, and then it comes right back up because you go through the same situation again. And that's difficult. And we have to kind of embrace it and not have any expectations because we can't control anything that's out in the physical reality. We can only control ourselves. I guess it's about finding peace within yourself.
Yeah. I know. I've done similar exercises. I've done breathing kind of stuff, and I feel better for a while. I asked Archangel Michael to help release this from me. But, and so I can forgive her in a sense that, like, she knows not what she does kind of thing and blah, blah, blah. But the problem is the hurt is still there. So,
yeah.
So this would be my challenge.
And I think it's, and I feel it in her in the way when she talks to me. I think there's something that's bothering her. I think that she doesn't understand and won't see about her husband, and she would never hear me what he did to me. There's another story. She was very sick in the hospital, and he banned me from going out there and was pretty horrible to me, and I was very good. I helped him a lot.
So
anyway,
let
she would never hear
this with
that.
you, Carrie. So what comes to me? What comes to me around this? I think you should I think what would empower you. I think you should write it. I think you should write it down Sit with it. Don't send it. Don't give it to your sister yet. Write it down. Sit with it for several days. Don't read it. Just write it all down. Put it away. Put it in an envelope. Go back in like 48, 72 hours. Reread it. See how the energy resonates with you. And then revise it if need be. If not, send it how it is. But I think you should put it into writing, and I think you need to give it to her in a different format. So if she's hearing it verbally, maybe she needs to read it. Maybe she needs to see it. But I think with you putting it on paper and putting all your feelings down, how you honestly, truthfully feel, just that process alone is going to help you move on past some of these emotions. And I shouldn't say completely release these emotions, but I think you'll start working and managing with these emotions so they start becoming more empowering rather than disempowering. So that would be my first challenge to you. I would say put it down, write it, sit with it for a couple days, and then go back and read it. If you don't need to revise it, send it to her how it is. If you do need to revise it, then that's your opportunity. Then revise it, and again, sit with it. Read it in like 24 hours. At that point, it's good. Send it to her. Whether you need to meet her in person and give it to her and let her read it with you there, even if you're in the same space, but you let her read it rather than her hear it from you. I think that'll...
She's very closed, and I can't see her. That's part of it. She lives across the country, and I'm not welcome in her house because the husband doesn't want to be, uncomfortable and doesn't like me there and blah, blah, blah.
Well, then I would mail it. And I would just get delivery confirmation.
She won't read it.
Well, I mean, that's all you could do, though. You put it on paper, and you send it out. You never know. Even if she doesn't open it immediately, you don't know. And I think, honestly, I truly believe that the energy around you, Mom and Grandmom, is showing you doing that because they're seeing the bigger picture of how this could possibly unfold. So that would be my challenge to you. Write the letter and send it with no expectations. Just do it. Just do it, write it, send it, and release that energy. And that's the first step. That is the first step for you empowering and freeing yourself from these emotions that are constricting you right now. So that's my challenge to you. And what I would say is, a month from now, when you talk to her and things start to straighten out, then give us a call back and let us know how it's going. But I think that's my challenge to you is just write that letter and send it. Take that first step because I do believe that's the information I'm getting for you.
And I'm going to remind you that I think what I'm saying is go to a body of water and let it go. Speak it out. And it's all really about you and how you feel because you can't control other people. And if you look, everything's negotiable. It can change. You never know. People can have an come to Jesus moment. They can figure things out. And also, you have that upcoming trip. Don't forget about that.
That's what you need to do when you end up on that trip or that occurs and you see that trip unfold. You definitely need to call us back and let us know where you're going.
Thank you so much for calling.
Thank you so much, Carrie. Appreciate it.
We're wishing you good things. You still there? Hello? I don't know where she is.
We may have overwhelmed Carrie. You didn't hang up on her, right?
No, I'm here.
You're there? Okay. Well, she's still there with us. We're just
all right,
her head's spinning. We're giving her way too much information. She's just spinning.
Will you be well, okay, Carrie?
No, Carrie, you got it. You got good energy.
I'm looking forward to positive things and a trip, and I like going to the body of water. Yeah.
Yes, go to the body of water and let it go. Let it go. Let go of all this, any negative or darkness that's within you. Let it out. Let it go. And embrace the light. Have a great night.
Take care, Carrie. Appreciate you calling in. And remember, you got Archangel Michael on your side, so you said it yourself. So you're in good hands.
All right, great.
Oh, okay.
Thank
Bye-bye. Be well. Aw, she's lovely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that for anyone listening, that is probably one of the hardest things to do is taking that first step, regardless of whether it's reaching out to a loved one we haven't spoken to, taking that first step in, whatever it may be. But like, what was the slogan for Nike? Just do it. That's really, I think, what it comes down to in a lot of cases. It's just do it.
I think it's a big step calling in and sharing your truth, because that's expressing it. And sometimes it's so funny how it's so easy to tell a stranger. Maybe you're out and about and you tell someone you don't even know your truth rather than someone that knows you, and it's so much easier. So I really appreciate everyone that calls in and everyone that listens. And you know what? Some of these stories we can apply to our own lives and we can learn from them. And I know it seems as though we keep someone on, but you know what? They're sharing something, and we're trying to give everyone an opportunity to share whatever is going on with them. So let me bring another person on. What do you think? Let's see who's been holding. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Who's been holding? Let's see. This area code, I don't know where they are coming from. Let's try. Wait, actually, is there somebody on right now? From 520? Hello?
No.
Hello?
No?
That's so weird. It's like a...
That's the spirit realm. The spirit realm, and they're just sitting, hanging,
now. I don't know who that was. All right, here's another one. Let's see.
Hi.
Hi, who's calling?
My name is Debbie from New Orleans. I was on, and then it just hung up, so I called back in like twice.
Okay, well, here we go. I'm not doing it.
You were meant to get through, Debbie.
I'm not even near my computer. I apologize, Debbie. I'm Mary, and this is Michael. Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
What is going on, Debbie? What question did you have for us from New Orleans?
I really, when I was looking at your show title, I feel like I'm going through ascension symptoms, and I am in between jobs, and somebody offered. I'm not working right now. I was thinking about just even changing careers totally, but it was weird. Somebody offered me one in my old career, and I looked at it with the people that I used to work around, and I just got a bad feeling, like maybe that it's just time to move on, and for some reason I didn't let it go. That's why. Maybe it's coming back around, but I can't. It's like you're stuck in the forest. You don't want to go backwards, but you still can't see forward, if that makes sense.
No,
yes.
that absolutely does. And I think part of it you're in a comfort zone. The ego wants to keep us safe. It wants to keep us comfortable. But if your intuition and that inner guidance is telling you, hey, something's not right about this, or I need to move on, or I truly believe you need to take a step back and look at that, sit with that, because, you're being guided for some reason into a new direction. And I do believe, that's your soul talking to you. Absolutely. What do you think, Mary Amy?
Absolutely. I mean, it sounds to me when you're saying your ascension symptoms, I'm actually curious to know what other symptoms. It sounds like your old life is leaving and your new life is coming forward, and it's hard because everything in the outside reality in this realm all seems the same, but we've changed, and we have. We are undergoing some kind of transformation, a metamorphosis, like we are becoming this beautiful butterfly. And when that happens, you kind of are like, wait, let me grab that. Don't go, because I don't know. This seems so unfamiliar. It doesn't seem normal. Am I going a little crazy? And it all happens at once, and then you kind of go through this little bit of a fight and arguing with yourself, like, something's not right. I'm just not doing it. And then you get a little bit further along, and then it gets a little bit easier. And then you start to change, like more of your personality will come forward, and you have abilities within you that have never been recognized, or they were, but that you've kind of put them to the side or didn't even realize how good you are at certain things. And it's really about allowing yourself to have confidence and believing in yourself and say, you know what? It doesn't matter what someone else says. I'm going to have to trust my gut. I'm going to have to go with what my intuition says, because it's not their life. I have to go with what is right for me. And, it might seem impractical, not normal, not a good idea, but if it's inside of you and you're operating on a certain vibrational frequency, and certain opportunities, people, places, and things are going to come to you. So go with the flow. That's what I recommend. Go with the flow.
Okay. Yeah, I've been very intuitive, and I think I just tried to be like, well, I'm not going to work with this right now. But people were drawn to me, and they'd be like, oh, you have this, talent. So I would think, well, maybe I could be a meditation teacher, or I could be something else. And then I think, like, what are you doing? It's crazy. Get a regular job. And I know that those are regular jobs, but like you used to ask, one of my symptoms is, like, when I try to talk to my family right now, they're so combative. I don't know how to describe it. It's like we're on two different wavelengths.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I look back, and I've gone through these times before, but they're just, like you said, they're not comfortable. It's like being in a chrysalis, and that down period is just so confusing.
Yeah. Well, you're being misunderstood. They don't really understand. Also, your energy is probably shifted, so they're accustomed to you being a certain way, and you're not anymore. And it's not a bad or good. There's nothing right or wrong. It's more like just a transition. You're in a transitional place. You haven't reached the other side. You are transforming. So it's like really about acceptance. And you know what? It might too happen to them. It's not, and then they'll be more understanding. You will start to actually attract those that are actually going through the same thing.
I'm so sorry for. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, wait, what?
One thing I think you have to be aware of, as you're raising your vibration, as you're ascending, there may be people around you that aren't ready for you to ascend. Even though you are, as you're ascending, you're raising your vibration, you're finding a new you, your positive things are coming from you. This could really stem a lot in the people around you. They may be, you may make them feel insecure because they don't have that shift going on, or they don't have the drive to start that shift. So understand, people's reactions are telling you you're crazy. This may not have anything to do about you and could be completely about them. So that's the first thing I say. Any time that you're moving forward and you have a crazy goal, or you have some new positive outlook and this new positive shift, people may try to bring you down. I mean, it is what it is, but it has nothing to do with you. It has everything to do with them. But just understand, you can't play small in your life to keep the people around you happy and feeling good about their life. You need to rise up in any way you need to. And look, maybe if as you're rising up, these other people are trying to pull you back down, maybe they're not the right people around you. As we ascend, we do need to look and scrutinize the relationships around us. And, whether that's family, friends, coworkers, the job we're doing, the life we're living, I mean, these things will happen. And we do need to take a step back and take a cold, hard look at what I always tell people is look at those 5 most imperative relationships around you, the people that you're in contact with the most. You're seeing them day in, day out. You need to look at those relationships and how are those relationships affecting you? Are they depleting you? Are they taking a lot from you? Are they making you feel very bad or anxiety-ridden, or are they uplifting you? Are they empowering you? Are they helping you? Look at these things and scrutinize them. And maybe depending on what and who the relationship is, you might not be able to do anything major right at this point in time, but you could start making those small shifts around it. But, you do need to look at those relationships. Family, friends, look at the 5 most prominent relationships around you and scrutinize them. And are they lifting you up or are they bringing you down? And that's a cold, hard, we're ascending, or we want to try to live our full potential, manifest our highest and best self. we need to look at the environment we're in. No doubt about it. We absolutely have to. And I think that's something that you need to do. You need to scrutinize. So you are on the phone with two psychics, and I am a medium. So I do want to bring through a little bit of what I have a vision right now, and I do believe I'm picking up on something in your energy field of art. So I don't know, and I feel like there's an grandfather. This is either dad or grandpa. I don't know who's with. I have older male energy that's definitely from your father's side, but I'm this much older energy. Like this person would have passed, I believe, in the 80s, like late 80s, early 90s, and I do sense like grandfather. What's interesting is it looks like he was very crafty, this gentleman, and I do believe if he didn't fish, he was definitely outdoors and doing something around the water. But I do believe somehow in this energy cycle, he's showing me you as a younger child painting and doing a lot of artwork. And you were like kind of swept away in that. And that was like a meditative, quiet space for you where amazing things would unfold into that. And you've gotten away from that tranquility and that peace that you would find in those moments. So who is it? Is this your father or grandfather that's with me that's bringing this through?
That would be one of my grandfathers, but they were not artsy, either one of them. No. They were very entrepreneurial.
Yeah, they're not showing me that they're artsy. They're showing me you were very artsy and you got away from it.
Yeah. That would probably be my grandpa on my dad's side, like you said. Yeah, he died in the late 80s, early 90s.
Yep, exactly.
It was like 89, 88.
Yeah, yep. That's what they were showing me. Yep, late 80s and that late 80s, early 90s. Yep, it's been gone for a while. So I don't know if you painted around him or painted something for him, like cards. I don't know if you would make like birthday cards or you would like young, you were pretty young when he passed away, correct? You were like teenager or like 20s.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you make him cards? Why am I seeing? I'm seeing you like paint thing. Like either you painted pictures for people, you painted cards, you did something like that. And you like gave them with gifts or something to that effect. What am I seeing here?
Maybe I only remember doing one for my grandmother when I was like 6. Like I remember one of those for my mother's side grandmother. I don't know that I gave him a painting. I could have. I don't. I went into
and that's what he could be bringing that through, just that touching message of you completely being creative and in that zone and putting that on paper for someone, like just this loving, just that's what I just said, energy and you doing that. And I think that may be what he's bringing up, you actually making that card for your grandmother. She could be with him in spirit too. I'm not connecting to her energy right now. I'm connecting to the dominant male energy on dad's side.
Yeah.
The interesting thing, though, they're talking about you getting back to painting. So you can confirm you did paint for a while, or that was was when
I did.
You got away from it. You haven't been doing it for a while.
Actually, that was going to be my first major in college, and my friend, who actually contacted me today, it was a friend in college. He came to the door where I was in an art class. He said, "What are you doing? You're going to be broke." And I literally changed my major to television and went into television. I did broadcasting news. I did, local productions and then left that. But I left art because he said and that was like my worst fear, is that I was going to be like a bag lady, but painting. So I stopped. I don't know. It's stupid to let somebody do that to you, but it was my worst fear.
Well, I could tell you, your grandfather, who definitely just has like loving, like he's just honoring like your creativity. I think he's honoring like your intelligence. I would say you were you're very smart, very highly intelligent. So your mind
is to tell me that.
Going, and you're very analytical. Though I think it keeps your mind going and working, and I would say that can cause. What I see around this is it definitely, you tend to be anxious around a lot of issues. You definitely tend to look at like the end goal, and you get caught up on end goal, the end result, and not fully embracing and enjoying the journey of getting to that goal. So that's what he shows me. It's interesting. Like, I feel like there's been a lot of goals that you've hit and you've had a lot of success, but you haven't really acknowledged it. It's like you arrived, but you're like, all right, no, this is it. This is all this is. I need something bigger. I need something more. I need something better. it's like you're always striving. And I almost feel like by him showing you got away from the painting, they're trying to get you back to this.
Okay.
So where you can take that analytical mind and use it in that work environment or use it to grow. I see you doing something entrepreneurial, though, and we'll get into that a little bit, too. But for that, they want you to quiet your mind, and they want you to get back to painting. And I do believe in those moments, your intuition is going to guide you. And I think when you can get back to that, I just think it's going to bring a lot more balance. But I'm getting in your energy field. So I'm picking up, I feel like they're even talking about this. Something, I don't know if there's like management, are you creating a course or a workshop or a class or something to do with helping autistic children? Is there something, is there something with you either helping like handicap or special needs or autism? Is there something to that?
No, my boyfriend has I believe he has Asperger's, so I totally changed his diet. And he became more calm and more productive.
Okay.
And I was talking about that with my niece today, but that's the only thing with autism that...
Okay, you're onto something there. So this is what I'm picking up in your energy field. So you need to take that. So you must have depending on what your work skills are, I would say you have a pretty diverse set of skills. I would say you can produce, you can write, you can manage, you can coordinate people. I'm also seeing you understanding data entry. You're also understanding like profit loss statements, entrepreneurial business ventures. This is all in your energy field. So So I would say you're managing and processing and coordinating and helping people and businesses. Is that correct?
Yeah, I did that to my detriment because after television, I kind of did sales, and I did really well. Like I won a trip to France, and I won all these awards. But what happened of my jobs, TV and sales, is that people would edge me out the minute I had success. You know, like I would have jealous people around me, and they would just set things up to, just make it really difficult for me.
Okay,
and
so I want to give you this challenge. So in your energy field, so what I sense is if you can somehow take what you already know and what you've done, and you can morph that into like this entrepreneurial venture where you're maybe doing some type of holistic or alternative approach to healing or working with someone that has, Asperger's or autism and doing some kind of study and looking into what you're doing for your boyfriend. And I believe that you're onto something there. You're onto something entrepreneurial, something that combines management, data. A lot of these things, you're going to have to crunch a lot of numbers, but I also think you're going to be looking at holistic therapies like you're doing, diet, maybe exercise, what chemicals people are coming into contact with. There's many, many aspects to this. But I think you should look into that and you should start researching possibly you doing classes, workshops, or some type of program.
That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, there's something around that. So take what you're doing with your boyfriend and see how you can utilize skills that you already have, and you can come up with some type of entrepreneurial venture around this because there's a lot of positive aspects to that I see in your energy field. So before I get off on a tangent, Mary Amy, what's going on?
Okay, so hi Debbie.
Hi.
I'm so proud. I want to say I'm so proud of you that you are acknowledging that you're going through an ascension, because you are. You're actually branching out. You have a lot of strength. You seem as though, or I sense that you were kind of a little taken back by it. So what I have learned to do is I do the I ams. So maybe you say something like, I am, and I'm just giving examples, I am courageous, I am brave, I am strong. And say it a couple of times a day. And it's funny how, that they say, how does that go if you walk the talk the walk or something like that, and then you
take it till you make it.
Right. No, because really, you have to
walk
keep like,
walk
I am
strong,
I'm courageous, I'm brave. And then the other thing that I received is, I'd like you to go out onto the grass in your bare feet, and I'd like you to say something like to yourself, I am deeply capable of, and then you fill it in. And you touching the earth, the ground, in your bare feet, whatever the choice is for you that's best, maybe will come forward. So
Okay.
I am
like that.
deeply capable of, and then you will say it. Now, you mentioned meditation. You mentioned some of these other creative ventures. I believe that you probably are capable of doing all of them, but it's really what resonates the most with you.
Okay. Another thing I didn't. My mother is. She moved in at the pandemic, and it. This is why I said the ascension too, because it sparked a lot of going backwards in my life from trauma and looking at that and seeing how far I came and how far she hasn't. No judgment, but so sorry about that. It was a train. She has not chosen to deal with that. She just chose to go on. And I see like the handicap of not growing. And it's a hard thing to be next, right next to, because it feels like two different worlds. And I think that's part of the ascension symptoms as well. Seeing where you came from, and that it's kind of painful to go back in there. And I don't know if I could say make peace with it, but I guess that's the best way to do it, trying to come to peace with.
Brave. You're very brave.
And you're identifying it too. You're seeing this. You're taking a step back and you're looking at this from an energy perspective, and that's magnificent. That is a really good, empowering thing that you can do. But it's going to be a process, and maybe by you stepping up and you embracing your ascension and you manifesting your full potential, maybe on the flip side, your mom's going to see that, and maybe that'll inspire her, help uplift her. But understand, regardless, whether it's family, friends, whoever it is, you have to do you. And I mean, as long as mom, if she's going to kind of stifle or wallow in her own pity or whatever it may be, and she doesn't want to step up or empower herself or grow, all you can do, what do they say? You can bring the horse to water, but you can't make it drink. And that is completely what you're dealing with. So I say you set the example, you set the stage for this is how it's going to be, and maybe mom will step up. But if not, you can't let that, you stop shining your light because it's going to dim somebody else. You have to shine. And hopefully the people around you, that helps elevate them.
Your energy will affect her. Your energy will definitely affect her, whether it's not even by choice. So when you're beaming light, or you're coming from a place of, I guess, like you said, non-judgment, you don't realize that it does affect those around you. And sometimes they permit it, and sometimes it's they don't have a choice, and it just changes them. So it might not change her in a great way, in a large way, but it's going to affect her, and probably in a positive way.
Yeah, challenge her. If you're doing a meditation or you're working with some type of energy healing process, open your mom to it. Talk to her about it. Turn her onto it and see how she reacts. Obviously, if she wants to attack you for it or try to belittle you or take some type of negative position, well, I mean, you have to adjust accordingly. You have to adjust that. But I guarantee if you start showing this new version of you, I think everybody around you is going to take note. You're going to help shift everybody's perspective around you.
Yeah. Wow, thank you. I really had nobody to talk to about this. Like, no one, around me.
Thank you for calling. We're glad you called. It was a pleasant surprise because you're talking about one of our topics.
Yeah, no, I was very attracted to that because it's that meme where they show Ascension where you're rocking yourself, and crying and, reliving some trauma and trying to, move forward. And you tell somebody, they're like, just get over it. Just get over it. And it's like, okay.
Not that simple.
Sure. Yeah, no, not at all.
Well, good for you. You're a brave girl. You're very brave.
Thank you. My father was an alcoholic, and he caused a lot of drama. And I'm just saying this because, some people will, say my mom ran from him or we ran from him. People, even my father has passed on. and it feels like you're still running from him, and he's not even on the earth plane anymore. You know, you're like, what are you running from now? He's gone. But it's just so ingrained and set up, and I'm sure that happens with different issues, not just, you know, trauma and that kind of thing.
Well,
yeah, those are loose attachments. So that's attachments from the past, and it's hard to let that go. It's really hard because you're, like you just said, it's ingrained in you.
Like we spoke about earlier, you're creating a new story. In that new story, there's going to be a new identity that's being built, and in that, you're dealing with old belief systems, old emotions, you know, and you're blending that with the new, and you're navigating it all, you know. So that's why they say it's the dark night of the soul, or, you know, the ascension and this ascension process. It is a process, but I guarantee you, small steps every day working towards this new glorious you will be the most empowering, beneficial thing you can do. And you know that. I absolutely, I can hear it in your voice. You know that. You just have to take that first step and trust yourself. And that's really what it's all about. Trust that the person you're going to be a year from now is going to be amazing, you know, and that's it. Take the first step and trust, you know, have that faith.
I really, really appreciate y'all.
Well, thank you. We appreciate you too. We're sending you blessings and good thoughts and positivity.
Oh, thank y'all both so much.
Take care, Debbie. Have
All
a good one,
and
enjoy the New Orleans for us.
Yeah, be well. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
Tell you, that's somewhere I've never been, to New Orleans, and I do plan on going down there. I
Me
really
too. I've never been there.
And I've heard some of the most awesome stories, and I actually have some friends that live down there, and it just looks like such an amazing town. Get me
a
some
lot of fun. It looks like a lot of fun.
Crawfish and listen to some jazz and blues.
Party, party, party. Okay, so we are down to 13 minutes. Would you like me to bring on someone else, or do you want to call it?
It's up to you. It's up to you. If someone's out there that doesn't mind a quick answer to a quick question, we could do that. I'll leave it up to you.
I'm going to grab this. Let's see. I don't even know because I can't tell. It's not saying how long people have been holding. I'm just going to grab this one. Let's see who this is.
Hello?
Hi, this is Mary and Michael. Who's this?
Hi, this is Sonia. How are you?
Hi, Sonia. Okay, we have a short time, but we just wanted to grab one more, and here you are.
I appreciate
it. Welcome
to
What is
I've been loving your show.
I appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, I could tell that you know about Neville Goddard and Joseph Murphy, Mary.
I say it again?
I could tell you know about manifestation, about Neville Goddard and Joseph Murphy, the way how you talk. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Hey, that's what we're about. We're about trying to empower our listeners to be able to do that and manifest too, you know, and that's what it is. I think we walk the walk and talk the talk. Isn't that what we just talked about?
Absolutely.
But Sonia, what is the question you have for us?
Well, okay. What happened? I was, my partner of 8 years cheated on me, and I discovered that back in September. We were together for, like I said, 8 years, and she did move out eventually in December. But throughout the process, I let her find a place and everything, and her car, and it was really painful because, of course, it's a third party, and she did want to keep in touch and whatever. And to my surprise, on my birthday, she did send me a package, and there was a card and there was a letter apologizing and saying how much she hurt me, and she still thinks once she works through this, she can come back around and whatever. But I haven't been responding to her text, anything at all. So I just decided to, put my house up. I'm going to get it ready to put it in the market this year, and just move away from here to a different area, south. So I just wanted to see, what you're picking up about the whole
looking
thing.
for a whole new start, a whole new shift. So that's what it sounds like. Sounds like, again, we're talking about self-love, ascension, the awakening.
Mm-hmm.
It sounds like you're having an awakening. It sounds like you're going through the dark night of the soul, like many of us do in this process to understanding who we are. So the interesting thing, so Sonia, just give me your name one time slowly. I just want to connect to your energy.
Sonia,
okay, appreciate
Sonia.
that. So I believe what you went through. So the interesting thing, I don't say this to everyone, and I don't think this is for every experience, but I do believe our soul brings us through certain relationships, certain environments, brings us and exposes us to certain things for our own growth and well-being. So as much grief as you have around losing this relationship, what I sense in your energy field is in this relationship, you experience so much self-growth and understanding about who you are, what you need to make yourself happy, like what your expectations are in a partner, the personality that you want, how you want to live your life, the experiences you want to have in this life. And I do believe it was all shown to you. I do believe it was, even though 8 years is a long time, but honestly, I do believe that 8 years for you was your soul's process of learning who you were, what you truly need, what you want. And as much grief as there is in losing that relationship, I honestly think what I sense is you outgrew that relationship and you were on a different path that person was not on. So I think if there was any, ifs, ands, or buts of if you should go back to this person, I feel like you and your intuition has already answered that for you, that you're already moving, you're moving and looking forward, you're on to new, bigger, better horizons. That's what I get from this. And it for me, that sounds good. The energy in your voice, the shift that you have, just talking about that, I think you're on the right path. I think it's been a hard path for you to make these decisions, and I think there's been a lot that you've contemplated. Should I go back? Moving forward could be scary. I don't believe that for you. I think it was a learning and growing experience that your soul had to go through. And believe me, I don't say that lightly, and I don't say this to a lot of people. But I do think that experience was for your highest and best. And I think you're a much more empowered person going through that moving forward into this next relationship, you're going to have a totally different understanding of what you need to make you happy. You're going to find that happiness for yourself. You're not going to be looking for someone else to bring that happiness to you. When you're ready for that next relationship, it's going to be the icing. It's going to be the cherry on top. It's not going to be, I need this to make me happy. It's, I found happiness on my own. I've grown into this person I am. I love this person who I am now. And what's the icing on the cake? That's the shift that you're in right now. I think you need to embrace it. And I do think you're in a much more empowering, self-sufficient energy cycle right now than you were in the past.
Well, I appreciate that. Thank you so much. That is so true. Like I said, I'll keep ignoring this person. I don't know how much more insistent she's going to be, but I wanted to ask you about the home. Is it the right time, this year, to put it in the market? And how do you see that going? Do you see things working out for me as far as getting,
so I'll just give you my quick
rundown
on what I see for just real estate overall and what I told one of the earlier callers. I do believe we are going into a chaotic real estate cycle later this year. So, like I said, I'm not a realtor. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just giving you the energy that I'm bringing through with this. I do believe if you are going to sell the property, I do believe you need to move quickly. I do believe you do have a couple, there's a few months still left in this cycle that you can capitalize on. But I do believe 6 months out, we are going to hit a chaotic market and properties may stagnate and sit for a while. So I think really this out and really look at all your options. And if, selling the property will give you the opportunity to move to another place that you can feasibly move to with the money you make off the property. If the numbers all make sense, then I say do it. I do see a shift happening with you, and I do see you moving forward. I don't necessarily think the property has to be a part of that, though.
I will have to sell it because I can't live here and then also live in Florida,
Okay, so the shift. So then, so I think you would have to move quickly on selling the property before the market itself becomes more chaotic. But what are you getting, Mary Amy?
Okay, 4 minutes out. So what I'm receiving, Sonia, is this is not, you're not in the middle of a maze or a labyrinth. This is a very light-filled, powerful opportunity for you. So it's like you're in the center, and the only thing I can describe it as, when Dorothy was in The Wizard of Oz and the yellow brick road kind of came around her and circled around and around, and it's going to show your path will be very evident. You are on a better journey after this loss. And this is the beginning of a sky filled with stars for you. That's what I received.
Okay.
So, Sonia, I think you're going to have to wish in, but I do think this new cycle you're moving into is a good one. Move forward. If everything is making sense that, now is the time to sell the property financially, that's what must be done, then I say just move quickly on that. And I think good things await. Yeah, I think you're going into this new unveiling of the new you that is going to have a new story, a new identity, and new belief system that's going to go along with that. And you're going to truly empower yourself to be in a really blessed relationship moving forward. That's going to, I think, bring out the best in you. Not looking for something to bring you happiness. I think you're going to find the happiness, and that next relationship is going to be the icing on the cake. But move sooner rather than later on getting this property sold, because the real estate market is going to go chaotic.
How soon do you think? Like within a month or so?
I think you probably have about a 3-month span that you could still make some decent money on properties. So I do think you need to move quickly. I think, start researching it now and definitely get it on the market as soon as you can. Give yourself the best opportunity.
Okay. Sonia, you are worthy. You are worthy being of light, and cherish yourself.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for calling. Have a good evening. Bye.
Ooh, that was a jam-packed.
I know.
There. That was good, though. That was good.
We have 2 minutes left. Thank you so much, Michael, for joining me on Two Psychics. This is episode 9, and we will be back again next week for episode 10. And we were going to have a wonderful guest, Jessica Jones, and she is a cryptid expert and a remote viewing expert. So we will give her some coordinates. So come up with some coordinates and message me them, and we will ask her all about it next week.
Get your questions ready. Thank
you, everyone, and I hope you follow us.
Much. Thank you, Mary Amy, and thank you, everyone that's listening, and tell everyone listen to the Two Psychics radio show.
Yeah, thanks, Michael Edley. Have a good night. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Bye-bye.
So, it's a new year, and you're thinking, how can you make this year different? You're dying to be my own boss, or see if you can turn that business idea you've been kicking around into a reality, but don't know how to make it happen. Shopify is how you're going to make it happen, and here's how. Shopify makes it simple to create your brand, open your business, and get your first sale. Get your store up and running easily with thousands of customizable templates. No coding or design skills required. All you need to do is drag and drop. Shopify also makes it easy to manage your growing business by helping with the details, like shipping, taxes, and payments from one single dashboard, allowing you to focus on the important stuff, like growing your business. Established in 2025 has a nice ring to it, doesn't it? Sign up for your $1 a month trial period at shopify.com/sell today, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/sell today to start selling with Shopify today.
Hardy Fiber Cement Siding handles conditions that can cause damage to vinyl. From fire to hail, Hardy Siding stands tall through it all. helping trade professionals look their best when they recommend Hardy siding and trim. See the proof at jameshardy.com.